Hello and welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm Dean Meagher. Here I am down on the 8th hole and I'm going to talk you through a couple of tricky shots that I think you're going to experience, especially coming into winter, where I think a chip and run is a better option than the lofted chip shot. So in running through these two scenarios, I want to talk about why I think chip and run becomes more of an option as you move into winter. First of all, your hands are very, very cold. Generally, when your hands are cold, you have a little bit less control, especially on these really finesse shots, which require a bit of touch and a bit of feel. And that means that you can be prone to some movements of the hand that sometimes can mean that lofted shot will really work out quite badly, either chunking it or hitting it too hard and it going way too far. So for those reasons, I will select a club where I don't really have to use a lot of hand movement. It's just a nice gentle shoulder movement. The other reason is because the ball starts to sit lower in the grass. The grass becomes dormant, so the ball sits right almost onto the hard ground underneath, which sometimes can be mud, and so that's a very risky shot. If you've got a lofted club, it can cut into that mud and only make the ball go just ahead of you. And if you want to avoid that, sometimes the club comes up and it can hit the front edge of the wedge and sail way across the green. So a 7-iron has a lot less loft. It's more of a bulldozer, so it can kind of just glance over the top of the grass a bit better. The leading edge is not as dangerous, it's not as sharp, so the ball is not going to send too far. So it's one of those chip shots that I think can really save you from wiping a hole and sometimes getting up and down when you least expected it. So here I am here with two scenarios. I've got one where I'm on the fairway, one where I'm in some light rough, and I've got two clubs that I would generally use for these chip and runs, depending on what kind of a lie I have and what I have in front of me. So on the right-hand side, I've got the fairway lie with just fairway in front of me. This is when I'm going to definitely use my 7-iron because I want it to roll nice and low across the grass and almost roll the whole way. I've got not really much green to work with, so this is again another reason why I might select the chip and run, because if I tried to loft it, it would land short and stop, or if I try to get it onto the green, it will go too far beyond the hole. So I've got my 7-iron here, and I'm gonna basically treat it with a technique of 3 ideas. One is that I'm gripping down on the club. I don't want it to go too far. I want to control this club. Number 2, I want to still have my weight forward, because I still want to make a nice downward contact on the ball to really hit the sweet spot of this club. Number 3, I want to feel like I'm just using my putting action. I'm not actually using my wrists like I'm chipping. I'm not turning my chest as much. I'm just trying to feel like I'm just using a bit of a shoulder action, very short swing. Okay, and if you do that, you won't make the mistake that most people do when they use a 7-iron for their chip and run, that they hit it way too far. So once again, I'm going to try and imagine that I'm just rolling it up the hill here, get a sense of it with a few practice swings, step up, and then just try to feel that ball just rolling up on the hill. Oh, it hit the flag. Damn, didn't go in though. Okay, on the next shot, I've got 9-iron here, and once again, I've got a little bit thicker grass ahead of me here, so I don't necessarily want it rolling really low the whole way. I need to kind of bumble its way up the hill, making a few bounces short of the green. The 9-iron also, when the grass gets thicker, helps to get the ball just out of that grass a little bit. And you'd be amazed at how many times you can use this 9-iron, even out of quite thick grass. So once again, I'm trying to picture just that technique of just trying to roll it up there. The 9-iron should pop it out of this rough a little bit better. Yeah, that worked out pretty well too. So that's the technique. It's a safer shot. It'll mean that you have less wipes, because again, I think a lot of people wipe holes in winter because they make mistakes around the green. They don't notice the mud under the ball. They don't sometimes notice the grain of the grass growing against them. And all of these can be very, very dangerous in winter when your hands are cold. So the chip and run, work on it, especially now because we're starting to get into those cooler temperatures. And you'll find that if you become a really good chip and run player, you'll be able to withstand the challenges that are facing a lot of golfers, I think, this winter, and any winter for that given matter. So become a great chip and run player, and I think you'll have better scores through winter.